My name is Dr. Kevin Pecca. I wanted to make a podcast that exposes people to the true miracles of life and health. All the guests on this show have been specially picked because they bring something positive to the world. They have some of the most amazing and inspiring life stories. These people have a passion for living, healing, and leaving the world better than they found it. There is something inside these people that made them keep fighting through all the tough times, even when people told them it was not possible. They carried on and made their lives beautiful again. And now they are sharing their experiences with the world. This is the Expect Miracles podcast. Enjoy the show. Today on the podcast, we have a very special guest, Linda Borghi. Linda is a very unique person, and they don't make them like this anymore. Linda has an amazing podcast called Farm a Yard, where she teaches individuals and families how they can grow their very own crops right in their own yard. Linda is changing the world through her farming and agricultural company, whose mission is to teach people how to farm their own yards all across the world so every family around the world can have fresh produce at the convenience of their own home, grown right in their yard. Please welcome Linda Borghi. It is a pleasure to have you on the podcast today.
So nice to be here, Dr. Merlin.
So for those who don't know, Linda calls me Dr. Merlin.
I do. He comes with the farmer's stamp of approval. And that's a pretty big stamp, my dear.
It is, definitely. Linda, where did you get started? Where are you from?
Well, it's really interesting. I have a very varied history. I am now currently the matriarch in my family. I am the oldest of 8.
Oldest of 8 kids, huh?
In an Italian family.
That is something.
Of famous fine art dealers.
Really?
Yeah.
All of you guys?
Not me. I'm a farmer.
Right.
They both start with the letter F. But they really are worlds apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lived all over the world. For me, I've lived all over the world. When I was 7 years old, I lived right outside of Rome.
Really?
There were 6 of us at the time. And then when I was 11, lived out in California, Palos Verdes Peninsula, and could see Catalina Island right out the kitchen.
It's so beautiful. I love Catalina.
And my father had 2 art galleries in Beverly Hills, one in the Beverly Wilshire Hotel and another one right down the street. So that was when I was 11. When I was 16, there were 8 of us at that time. He moved his entire brood to the southern part of Spain.
Wow, you guys were all over the place.
Yeah, 30 miles north of Malaga. I saw the monkeys on the Rock of Gibraltar. And he would take us on the ferry across the way, and now you're in Africa, in Tunisia and Rabat. I mean, we saw the Casbah.
Yeah, rock the Casbah?
The Casbah, man. Really pretty incredible. And the reason why he did this, my father was an immigrant. He jumped ship in New York City and got on a bus, and his first stop was Lyndhurst, New Jersey.
Really?
Meadowlands is now. And he walked into my grandmother's ice cream store, and that was it. My mother and him fell in love.
How old were they?
They were old enough. My mother was 25.
Wow.
When she was married, 23 or 25. So it was really pretty incredible experience. And my father went into the art business. My father, at one point in time, had the largest inventory of original oil paintings on the East Coast.
What?
International Art Gallery.
Was he an artist himself, or he just...
No, he was a dealer. He would go and he would buy from the artists. He dabbled in watercolors, but really not much. But his devotion was to his children. And he was going to give them an education that they could not get in a book. And that is, not everywhere can you go and flip on a switch and get a light to come on, or can you go to a sink and turn on a faucet and get water. No matter who you cut on the wrist, we all bleed red. And he instilled that in us. And to this day, that really molded me as an adult. Although I got to tell you, at 16, did I want to move to Spain?
What was that like for you as a young girl, just growing up all over the place?
It was pretty eye-opening. It was kind of devastating. Now, as an adult, I can see that I was in training
Yeah.
for this time right now, because I've always been connected to the earth beneath my feet, no matter where I was. It would make a difference. I mean, I lived in Bogota, New Jersey, which is 5 miles from Midtown Manhattan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was on a postage stamp lot, and Burpee must have thought I owned a palatial mansion because every square inch, I had blueberries, I grew corn. I didn't grow anything. I mean, I help it all to grow. The growing is not within my power, really to a higher power. So what happened was...
Did you teach yourself?
I did. Not a person told me. And I'm going to tell you, I made thousands of dollars in mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. We all do.
Oh, boy. Like, I built a chicken coop.
Yeah.
We were on Block Island. My former husband of 25 years, God bless him, Bob, putting up with this with me all that time. He was a builder. He built our first chicken coop. It looked kind of a little bit like a phone booth. Yeah, it had a little chicken door, and Brandon, our 6'6" son now, he was only 2, and he would have to go in and get the eggs because could get in the chicken door.
Yeah.
My former husband, he's 6'6". I looked up to him once. I said, "Do you think all farmers that have eggs have to have young chickens, young children to go collect the eggs?" Then we realized what we built was really like an outhouse structure. It was not. But thousands of dollars in mistakes, but always thriving on pure, good, healthy food that came from the earth. I mean, we were 8 children. We ate nothing from a box.
Really?
Nothing. Well, who could you feed from a box? 8 children.
No, you can do it.
Feed them. I mean, I remember we used to have to line up every morning, and it wasn't a tablespoon. It was a serving spoon. My grandmother, whatever she had, cod liver oil or castor oil, I could still hear the spoon clinking in my teeth. She didn't know why. She just knew that we had to have that. At dinner, we were kids. I was 5. We had to have red wine, Chianti, and water.
Yeah.
It was required. Now they found out it's for the resveratrol or whatever that. But you see, my father knew that it built the blood.
Amazing.
These are ancient wisdom, you know?
That's great.
And now what I see, children graduating from college and they don't even know how to boil an egg.
Yeah.
Or balance a checkbook. But they have, on an average across the country, $40,000 in student loan debt.
Yep.
And 2 months after they get out, they have to start making those payments.
Yeah.
75% of them will not get a job in their field.
Yeah.
So what do? They go into the military or they flip burgers. Well, I went on a grow food, earn money tour up and down the East Coast because
Did you really?
I want to teach them that in one season, in 22 weeks, they can generate $75,000 in gross revenue on a half an acre of land. And the gross isn't too far from the net. They can pay that debt off in 22 weeks, not when they're 70 years old.
From farming and just gathering the produce and...
From multi-locational farm. So let's say I live in Montclair, New Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of lawns.
Yeah, there is.
In Montclair, New Jersey. And a lot of people,
no one's farming.
They don't want to mow their lawns.
Yeah.
Right? So I would go up to them and say, "Hey, look, I've been eyeballing your front lawn now for about 3 weeks. And do you know that we could grow a great crop of San Marzano plum tomatoes here?"
And what do they say?
Well, in Orlando, there's 300 people on the waiting list.
Really?
Fleet Farming, FLEET. They are a collaborative cooperative, and they are farming 60 farmlets, what they call farms. They're front lawns, front yards, They charge the people to farm their yards.
Yeah.
But the homeowner gets to harvest whatever they need for themselves, right from their property. They have 300 people on the waiting list.
So they have a team that comes to the yard, does everything, and then all the people have to do is they're pretty much just letting them rent their yard for produce, and they get to keep as much as they want?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Isn't it? And if we look at just churches, right? Churches, you just drive around churches, they have grass. Do you know there is over 40 million acres of turf grass in our country?
Turf grass.
It is the largest cultivated crop of the land.
Yeah.
It is a bad habit we got from the English. But it rains there all the freaking time.
Yeah.
Here, 40% of the drinking water on the East Coast goes to water lawns.
Really? 40%?
Yes. Nobody's eating them. And, you know, I've taught in 5 African nations. I've spoken at the UN. I've taught at Fayetteville State University. Grow it, don't mow it.
Mm.
We have to change the status quo.
How do we do that?
But through getting people to dig up a 3-foot by 3-foot plot. That's all.
3-foot by 3-foot plot,
That's
really?
It. What do they want to eat? What do they love to eat in fresh produce? What is it? Is it a tomato plant? Is it lettuce? Is it kale? Just grow that. Now, what I have seen is the reason why people are not growing food is because we're not teaching them the skills, nor are we teaching others those skills in order to do so.
Very true.
So people go to places like Home Depot and Lowe's, and they buy things like soil, right, in bags.
Yeah.
Now, they're not aware that all that soil is pasteurized, which means there's no life form, there's no microbes. So what Farm Yard's mission is to grow healthy people, period. That's what we want to do. We want to grow healthy people. How do we do that? We have to grow healthy soil.
Like through compost and all that?
Through learning about compost, by learning about biodynamic, by understanding that you can expect miracles.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That there are forces that we can't see. And I give my students this example. I'm 63. I'm a grandmother. I've never worn a bra my entire life. If I stand in front of a full-length mirror naked, I know gravity exists.
Yeah.
I'm not a physicist. I'm not a scientist. So therefore, it is working even without me knowing how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, there's so many forces out there like that. I am a biodynamic farmer. That is the study of Dr. Rudolf Steiner, one of the great thinkers of our time. He was at the same time as Edgar Cayce. That was the American, and Steiner was from Austria. And Steiner gave us a course in agriculture like none other.
What was different about his course?
Well, I am farming the air, not just the earth beneath my feet.
Ooh, I
am opening the doors through the use of biodynamic preparations and through my thought forms. I'm reopening the cosmic doors to allow those forces back into the food. I am employing the help of the nature spirits. And I have to tell you, no vacation pay, no social security, no time off. But we have forgotten that they're even there. So why would we ask them to help us if we don't even know that they exist?
So are you talking about just everything we can't see?
Well, yes, the forces, the cosmic forces. As a biodynamic farmer, I use all the planets to plan on my planting. The sky is divided into 4 sections. The water forces, which would be Pisces and Cancer, and then the fire. Mm-hmm. That is how I plan my planting schedule, and that's all based on a calendar with over 60 years of research backing that calendar up.
Really?
Yeah.
So does that mean there's days where you will plant, you won't plant based on the calendar?
Yes. There's 4 categories based on what we're consuming in the plant. And the 4 categories are leaf, fruit, flower, and root. So those are all connected to the stars in the sky.
I love that.
So therefore, it's all broken down in this calendar by the day and by the month. So when there's a lot of stuff happening up there, like lunar eclipses and things are in transit and there's nodes, and that could be a blackout period of time. And that's when you eat ice cream or, stuff like that.
Linda, I have a question for you. I was thinking about this the other day. We are around, 80% water, 85% water, something around that?
Oh, yeah.
The moon has a huge gravitational pull, which we know causes the tides and everything.
Well,
what effect do you think that has on our bodies being that much percentage of water? It's got to have some effect, right?
It's so funny because we say that the moon affects the tides, and it does. But you know what? The moon is really a little tiny weeny planet.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
What does Jupiter do to our bodies?
I don't know. What does it do to our bodies?
What does Saturn do? See, I am not an expert in biodynamics. That's why I have a Dr. Merlin, and Farmyard has a soil doctor, and that is Evan Folds. And he digs deep into the situation.
Yeah.
He gives you the cation ratios and all that stuff, and how, like, Mars is bringing us the color red. It's very interesting. And this was all what I call downloads that Dr. Rudolf Steiner received.
Really?
He was blessed, although I don't think he thought he was so blessed, really, because in his lifetime, he gave 7,000 lectures, never wrote them down.
Really? Did he write any books or anything?
The audience wrote it.
Ah.
He just expanded it. He just gifted it. In fact, the agriculture course came very close to the end of his life. He died in 1925. He was at a conference in Austria, and the Austrian farmers in 1924 were already concerned about the nutritive value of the food.
Really?
And the germination rate of the seed. And they asked Dr. Steiner for insight in the area of agriculture. And that's how this course came. It's a course like none other. It's so clever. I don't understand all of it. I really don't. But the things that I understood, that just make sense to me, And I'd like the listeners to be aware that the Rudolf Steiner Archives has the entire agriculture course in an audiobook for free.
Wow.
As a gift.
Wow.
Yeah, they recorded them. But he was just something else. Like man, he says, okay, take a human being and draw him like a stick figure, okay? Now plant his head in the ground.
Yeah.
The root crops feed the head.
Okay.
If you're too much in the head, stop eating the beets.
Mm-hmm.
Get away from the potatoes,
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you look at that form of a stick figure, we look like a plant with our arms and our legs. So it's very interesting. But he just did not give us agriculture. He gave us Waldorf education.
Okay.
Eurythmy. He gave us homeopathic medicine.
Beautiful.
I was the very first intern at the Pfeiffer Center Garden in Chestnut Ridge, New York. And Chestnut Ridge, New York is where biodynamics came into the country. In the 50s, all of Sugarloaf Mountain was grown biodynamically by a man by the name of Ehrenfried Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer studied under Steiner. Steiner studied under Goethe.
Okay.
So that's the chain of command.
Yeah.
Ehrenfried Pfeiffer went as far as to build a composting facility for the city of Oakland, California.
The entire city.
He was closed down. Guess by who?
The government.
The mob.
The mob.
They own the garbage. They own the garbage in the 50s.
So they didn't want anybody
They
having
own
healthy
the
soil?
garbage. They own the garbage.
If the mob owns the garbage, why wouldn't they want healthy soil in the
Owns
city?
the garbage. Well, once the city, because Pfeiffer would be taking that garbage away from them.
Gotcha.
They own the transfer station. It was that time of the weird time, like when I was born in the 50s. It's really a very intended focus of mine to spray the country biodynamically.
Mm-hmm.
And because I believe so much in the power of intention, I believe that all I had to do was set the intention. So one day I came up with this thought. I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a tractor.
Okay.
And I did. And I had it painted purple because that's my favorite color.
That's the best color ever, purple.
John Deere wasn't too happy about it, but they did send me a hat because I sent them a picture of my purple tractor.
Big purple guy.
And I got a 100-gallon Vortex brewer to brew the biodynamic preparations. And I got an orchard sprayer. And
are those big sprinklers that just stretch across the...
Oh, no, it goes on the back of the tractor. It goes in between the apple trees. So the tractor's only 5 feet wide.
Uh-huh.
And the sprayer. And it's a mist spray, right?
Sprays all the apple trees?
And it was I thought that I was going to spray the whole country with that tractor. I swear to God. Then it dawned on me that I only have to spray my part of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else can spray their part of the country. Then I started to think about this. In my day and age, there was this thing called Hands Across America. I think it was Michael Jackson. That's somebody, a big famous star started this. And I was a block leader, and we all had T-shirts, and we held hands across America.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we spray across America?
Mm-hmm.
We can.
We can, definitely.
This is the new story. We are creating the story. And this is the story of getting this energy that is devoid in any of our commercial food into our food system. Because what's lacking is this. What's lacking in our food system is love.
Agreed.
That's it.
People have zero connection with their food these days. There's no connection at all.
I know.
Linda, what are the biggest environmental factors right now that are facing you with like just producing all these farms and the soil? And because, there's people that just deny global warming and all that stuff. What are the biggest factors that you're noticing right now when it comes to agriculture?
Well, in one decade, 10 years, we can count that on two hands. 62% of the farmers in this country are of retirement age.
62% are of a retirement age? Wow. Why is that? Why isn't it getting passed on?
It's power and control.
Mm-hmm.
Whomever is in control of the food is in control of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Whomever is in control of the seed is in control of the food, is in control of the people. Monsanto in 1977 hired the firm of Arthur Andersen to give them a plan. They wanted Arthur Andersen to implement a plan for their mission statement. And their mission statement was to be the sole global food producer. And Arthur Andersen set that plan out for them. And they have followed that plan. I'm not sure to date what the total percentage is, but don't quote me. I believe that Monsanto and their conglomerate owe 92% of the global seed supply.
And you were explaining to me before, what does that exactly mean? So
what it means is, number one, you have to buy it from them.
Right.
And it's patented.
Mm-hmm. Are they genetically modifying these?
Well, a lot. Most of the corn, soy, And what are we growing? We're growing food for animal protein. We're growing animal protein, really. Because, as a vegetable farmer, I'm considered to be growing specialty crops.
Yeah.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah. Broccoli is a specialty crop. Specialty. Animal protein. what's happening is our diversity is in the crapper, man.
What, seed-wise?
Seed-wise, we have very few heirloom varieties left.
They're not allowing it, right?
An heirloom variety is our seeds that have been grown for the past 50 years. That's what qualifies them as an heirloom variety. Now, if we stop growing a variety, it becomes extinct. So how many varieties do you see in the supermarket of tomatoes? 3?
Yeah.
Big boy. And I mean, we are not growing food because it's nutritious, because it's dense and nutritious. We are buying food in the supermarket. That food there is only there because it's freaking stubborn.
Yeah.
And it's not getting bruised and it's not getting I mean, 50% of all the food grown in the country goes in the garbage.
Does it really?
Oh.
What? They just throw it out?
If it does not meet the grade of a supermarket, what is a farmer supposed to do with it out in Iowa? Really?
They can't sell it either, right?
Well, if you're set up for that type of distribution, you're not selling at a farmer's market.
Mm-hmm.
But it's at a farmer's market. That's what we have to go back to. You know, during World War II, 40% of all the food consumed in our country came out of small plots of land.
Wow.
Came out of your backyard and my backyard. It's called Victory Gardens. In fact, my granddaughter's brownie leader uncovered a victory garden in her backyard in Verona.
Really?
Food was growing everywhere. I could show you pictures of sheep grazing on the White House lawn.
Really?
Growing food was being patriotic because we were taking the pressure off the national food supply.
Yeah. Well, we're living in the Garden State.
Hey, have you noticed California lately?
What about it?
Well, drought and fire and blah, blah. Florida, this is what our country's relying on for our food system. If you read down the list of what California supplies us, like 89% of the broccoli, I mean, goes on and on. That is not local.
No.
How could that be local? So you mean to tell me if, whatever reason, California cracks and goes floating out in the ocean, we're all going to have to starve? No. We're going to import all our food. Today, I went to the stupid market. I mean, really? Do we have to get onions from Peru?
Yeah. What's going on there?
What is going on? And anyone that's listening, when you purchase garlic, you make sure it's either grown in the United States or it has roots on it. Because if it isn't, it's grown in China, which is the largest garlic producer of the world. And you don't want to know how they grow garlic.
Yeah. They do a lot of shady stuff with their produce.
Look, poor people. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
There before the grace of God go I. So not in judgment, but it's Russian roulette.
Yeah.
What's fresh? Fresh is walking outside your kitchen door and cutting some arugula. And I'm telling you, my son-in-law and daughter, they go to the U.S., do my grandchildren for treatments. But a year ago, now they're two professionals.
Yeah.
My daughter, she likes the smell of new clothes.
Yeah.
She doesn't like getting her hands dirty.
Yeah.
Well, she called me in February. She said, Ma, you better sit down for this. I said, what? She said, Sean just walked in the kitchen with a bunch of organic kale from the supermarket. And he looked at me. He says, we can grow this. Well, I ran up there in April and I put that garden in lickety split. Come September, she said to me, I think we're going to make it a little bigger, which I facilitated in my last trip down.
Yeah.
So now what do we have? We have cucumbers and zucchini and kale and broccoli, all in very tiny spaces. That's the purpose of Farm Yards Podcast, to teach people, to give them these skills. We have a new tool in our toolbox.
What's that?
We're polishing it up. We are forming our own Facebook.
Like literally your own Facebook, not a Facebook page, your own Facebook,
Our
a farmer's Facebook.
Mighty Network. That's what it's called. a mighty network. And this is going to be a platform where people can come and get all of the information, all of it. They could subscribe to it. It's going to be very affordable, $10 a month. They're going to know how to do what they want to do and what portion they want to do. We're going to teach everything from making kombucha.
Ooh,
I mean, I would really cry if I didn't have my kombucha every day. And, it's kind of pricey.
Yeah, it is.
But not to make it.
Yeah.
Not with the SCOBY. We have a plot to plate educator on our team.
Once you get the SCOBY going, it kind of just takes care of itself, right?
It's wonderful. I want to teach people about alkaline ionized water.
There we go. Kangen Water podcast episode. We talked about it on here. Yeah.
I mean, really, I could not at this age, although knock on wood, I've never had to take any pharmaceuticals. And I do have 4 or 5 herniated discs in my neck that Dr. Merlin took care of right away. Lickety split. Bingo bango.
That's right.
Listen, I don't care where you are. I don't care I don't care what part of the country you're in. If you have a problem with your body, my fellow yard farmers, you call Dr. Merlin, Dr. Kevin Becca, this man right here, and he will take care of it. Seriously, Doc, because even with my grandchildren, Cooper loves his white sugar. He is a white sugar fiend.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he knows Grandma doesn't give him that.
Yeah.
After they came back from that first adjustment, holy mother of God.
Yeah.
I'm not going to need as many touch-ups. I swear to God.
What did you notice different in them?
A calmness, a centered being, a calmness in themselves, because I know it takes an awful lot of energy to manage pain on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like your body's at war.
Yeah.
So that has to manifest outwardly.
Definitely.
And you have to get to the root. And the root is inside. And I really needed to meet you because cracking is not my thing.
Yeah,
mine either. Isn't. A lot of people benefit greatly from those adjustments. It's just even acupuncture. Mm-hmm. I have to be needled in the energy field.
Mm-hmm.
The practice that you have, I hope an awful lot more people pay attention and study this, my dear.
That's why we got this podcast.
Yes, they have to. Upper cervical, right? That's what it's
Blair
called.
Upper Cervical Chiropractic, yeah.
BioAIR.
To the world.
Dear God. Dear God.
So thank you, Linda. That was very nice of you for doing a little... Appreciate that. Taking care of your family it's been a pleasure.
And my sister Laura now. Hey, oldest
yes, Laura's doing great.
Don't worry. We're going to go through all of them. I'm like a dripping faucet.
I heard a busload of Borghis are coming in.
Borghis are on
the way. Yeah, 1 of 8. Yeah, bring them all in.
Oh, they'll be there, babe.
So, Linda, if people are in New Jersey and they're hearing this, what does it take for you and your team to come to their front yard and get this going? Farm a yard. What is it?
We don't do that.
Oh, okay.
That's not what we do. We actually have pockets in 3 areas currently. We have a Boone, North Carolina farm yard. We have a Arcadia, California farm yard.
Nice.
And we have a Cranberry, New Jersey farm yard. Anyone listening that wants to be a leader in their community, growing food and gathering a membership, I will teach that group personally via a Zoom meeting.
Perfect.
Step by step. And then they will go into the mighty network, right? Mm-hmm. Under their own group. So the members in that group can talk just to that. It could just be a neighborhood. It doesn't have to be a whole town.
Yeah.
It could be a family.
Definitely.
But we need leaders. We need pockets all across the country. And I'm willing to put the time in and train them just like this in a Zoom meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And we record it so that they don't forget it.
Beautiful.
And then they can go over it. And now we have tutorials. We have content.
That's beautiful.
All across the country.
That's beautiful.
Is that wonderful?
Your dreams are coming into reality here, Linda. It's happening.
Baby.
It's all happening.
That's because I'm moving in with my grandbabies.
Yeah. I need to hook you up with a gal named Chelsea Hernandez. I had her on the podcast, and she does urban farming in Orange. And she bought her own plot, and it's her life's passion. She's so passionate about it, and she supplies all her produce to the local restaurants and everything. To say you guys would hit it off would be an understatement. So I'm going to give you her contact information.
I believe I even know of her because I started in the spin farming realm, small plot intensive, and I was their only trainer. And I know we had someone in Orange.
Yeah, she's good. She'd probably be really good for your podcast too.
Oh, I can't wait to have some of her food.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, Linda, from all your life experience, what have you taken with you that you would like to leave the audience with? Just a special message to everybody.
Well, my special message is that we're all human and all we need to do is love each other. If we focus on how we're alike, we'll never get to how we're different.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
The list will be too long. I mean, we've got molecules and cells. And really, that's really what I want to tell. Because I see undercurrent of nastiness out there. We can change that. We can flip that around. We don't have to be that way. We could be kind and compassionate and empathetic and caring, because that in turn makes us really happy.
Absolutely. And you're coming at it from the source, kind of like how I come at it. I mean, you get what you put into your body is what you get out.
Yep.
And the fresher, the more connected we are with our food, the better lives we're going to live. And so you are making that happen. And that's amazing. And I'm very thankful that I met you. And it's just been a blessing because you are a breath of fresh air. And I love talking to you.
I love talking to you too, Merlin. I really do.
So, Linda, where can people find you on social media, your podcast, and all that?
Our podcast is on iTunes, and it's Farm-A-Ard. And we are currently downloading at 11,000 a month. So people are listening.
People are getting the information.
People are listening all over the world, even Korea.
That's
Korea
great.
Popped on today. I was so excited. And farmayard.com. That's our website. We have our blog posts there. And Linda at farmayard.com is my email address.
Perfect. Well, Linda, thank you so much for coming on. Really enjoyed this episode. Love talking to you, and I will see you soon.
Thank you, honey. Let me know when it's published. I'll share it.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon, Linda.
Bye, baby doll.
My name is Dr. Kevin Pecca. I wanted to make a podcast that exposes people to the true miracles of life and health. All the guests on this show have been specially picked because they bring something positive to the world. They have some of the most amazing and inspiring life stories. These people have a passion for living, healing, and leaving the world better than they found it. There is something inside these people that made them keep fighting through all the tough times, even when people told them it was not possible. They carried on and made their lives beautiful again. And now they are sharing their experiences with the world. This is the Expect Miracles podcast. Enjoy the show.